Okay, so this is my PowerPoint on motivation. So, firstly, what is motivation? Motivation has been defined as being a drive to fulfill a need by theorist Gill, 1986. Sage 1974, another theorist, describes motivation being an internal mechanism and external stimuli which arouse and direct our behaviour. He also stated in 1977 that it is the direction and intensity of one's effort. Types of motivation. Intrinsic motivation is a self-placed goal, which can be things such as wanting to score a goal in football or wanting to dribble past a player in basketball. You can intrinsically be motivated by things such as enjoyment of the sport, the competitive thrill, and pushing yourself in the pursuit for excellence and mastery. Extrinsic motivation is from a source outside the performer. This could be rewards or reinforcement. Rewards split up in two groups, tangible and intangible. Tangible rewards such as trophies, money, badges and certificates are kind of prizes that you can hold, whilst intangible rewards could be things such as praise and competition, which would have benefit you mentally. Some performers may also be driven by fear, as the fear of being pushed for failure, punished for failure would push them to perform better. So the theories of motivation, I'm going to go through trait theory, social learning theory, interactionist theory, achievement motivation, attribution theory, achievement goal theory, motivational climate, and the mindset theory. So the first scenario, Connor is a 17-year-old county basketball player. Whenever he makes a mistake in competition, his coach will sub him off. This is bad because not only is he now thinking that he isn't good enough to play, there is a new player who plays in the same position as Connor, who now gives added pressure due to the competition for the spot. Connor wants to start avoiding failure so he isn't placed down the pecking order whilst the new player needs to achieve in order to inspire his new teammates and show his coach that he is deserving and worthy of the position. These two players want this start in place as they want to improve their skills in game and become better in a competitive circumstance. Some of the team have already earned their place as they have family who have been good at basketball and played for teams when they were younger. They have the natural sporting ability and have copied their experienced elders' skills in order to adapt to their own game. So the scenario summary is scenario 1 told us that Connor doesn't think of himself highly and that he doesn't think that he's good enough. This suggests to us that he is a fixed mindset that he isn't good enough or of a high standard. The mindset theory is how you think and perceive of yourself or others' performances around you. You may not think you are good enough in competitive situation, but you may also feel that a teammate is a very good high-quality player. There are two types of mindsets, fixed and growth. Fixed mindset is when your perception doesn't change. You may see yourself as a bad player and that won't change, but someone with a growth mindset, their perception can change and grow more experienced and wise. You may see a teammate as a bad player because they don't get the ball a lot in football, but as you get older you become more experienced and realise the player you thought was bad, actually technically brilliant and could really help keep the structure of the team. Scenario 1 also read that due to Connor's poor performances in latter games, he feels a need to avoid failure. This makes him a NAF type in terms of the achievement motivation theory. A NAF type hopes to avoid failure and is the opposite to a NAF type, of which needs, like the new player in Connor's team. You can improve NAF by making sure at least some situations are going to end in success, but at the same time are going to be challenged and not a breeze. You can also reduce NAF by reducing punishment and the risk of learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is the eventual realization that you will be punished, embarrassed, or demoralized in certain situations. Negative situations. This could be that you know every time your football team loses, despite playing well, your coach will shout at you. Learned helplessness is a realization that whatever you do, it won't stop the manager from venting his anger and disapproval on you. The definition of achievement motivation is behaviours dedicated to developing and demonstrating higher abilities. Achievement motivation also evolves around two orientation types, ego and task. Ego orientation is measured on beating others, which will demonstrate your skill is superior and above the person you beat. Task orientation is measured on the individual's success and achievements, so this may be how swimming certificates maybe how many swimming certificates they have compared to someone else. Achievement goal theory was highlighted when scenario 1 mentioned that Connor and the new player were fighting for the starting place, as they both wanted to improve their skills in a competitive game. Achievement goal theory are competence-based goals which individuals target in evaluative circumstances. This is so they can perfect skills so they can come naturally in a competitive game where it counts, just as achievement motivation theory does. Achievement goal theory revolves around the two orientations, ego and task. The ego orientation is when the individual shows they are better than others in competition, while task orientation is when the individual decides to target mastery of skills for the intrinsic reward. Finally, in scenario 1, social learning theory, trait theory, and interactions theory were all mentioned due to how teammates of Connors have cemented themselves into the starting lineup due to their high quality gained from their elders. Social learning theory would suggest that the basketballers had copied their parents by watching them play and letting them teach them. This is due to how their performance has been influenced by the environment around them. This is the opposite with trait theory, which suggests that basketballers' behaviour and ability has been genetically passed down by their parents who are previous high standard players. Their behaviour hasn't been influenced by what's around them, and they haven't copied anyone. They're just naturally talented. Interactionist theory states that behaviour and performance ability is a combination of both trait and social learning theory. So the basketballers have gained their ability naturally from their parents, whilst they have also built on that with copying and learning from their parents' wise experience. Scenario 2. Jack is a 9-year-old footballer who plays for a local Sunday youth team. At training, Jack doesn't work hard. He drifts around the pitch not looking for the ball and seems disinterested. However, when he gets in a game situation, he seems to thrive from the coaching orders. He has easily hyped up the young boys. This may be due to the crowd and change of atmosphere around him. At such a young age, it is vital for young persons to impress their older peers. He also becomes frustrated with his teammates at times and will add to the atmosphere with negative comments. Jack also aims to win to boost his levels of motivation for his next competition. He enjoys the competitive side also, as he feels he can learn his skills better in game as it's a real situation. There is also trophies that motivate Jack to win at the end of the season. When it doesn't go Jack's way, he tends to blame the pitch, saying that it's too bobbly and turfed up, and also he will blame the balls. So scenario 2 summary is firstly introduce motivational climate to us as it read that Jack thrives on the atmosphere created by his coach. The definition of motivational climate is atmosphere created in the space, usually by the leader, in this example the coach. However, peers add to this atmosphere, either negative or positive. In this example, Jack is adding to the atmosphere negatively with the bad comments towards his teammates. There are two branches to motivational climate: learning climate and performance climate. Learning climate encourages mastery orientation, meaning that the individual practices the skill until it becomes natural. And also success of the individual relates to previous abilities. Performance climate encourages ego orientation, so just based on the importance of the individual beating the opponent. Achievement motivation was again briefly introduced in scenario 2. Jack feels the need to achieve, making him an appetite so he can better himself with motivation and belief he can achieve in his next competition. Also, achievement goal theory was read about as Jack enjoys the competition as he feels his skills develop better in the real situation. And its extrinsic rewards was also listed, as Jack can achieve many tangible trophies but may also revel in the fact that he is one of the best players in his team, giving him high statures. Attribution theory was mentioned when Jack blames the pitch and balls when it doesn't go his way. The next slide will introduce the theory in more depth with the table. Jack blames the pitch and the ball when he doesn't play well competitively. That places him on the luck square, as it's bad luck how the ball and pitch are not working in his favour. It's an external factor outside of Jack himself. Attribution theory's definition is how we attach meaning to our or others' behaviours, and how and why people explain their events as they do. Wiener, 1982 and 1992, thought that attribution theory was mainly involved around achievement, and that the most important factors were those placing the table above them. The internal and external parts of the model represent the factor that we can control, intrinsic. For example, our own ability and effort is something we can control ourselves, and then factors that we can't control, such as the difficulty of the task and luck involved around your performance, will be extrinsic. Thank you for watching this presentation.